Close your eyes and picture a quiet summer evening sometime in the 1960s or 70s. The crickets are chirping, the neighbor's sprinkler is running, and the family car is parked proudly in the driveway, gleaming from the wash your dad just gave it. You slide into the front seat and breathe in that familiar mix of warm vinyl, gasoline, and summer air. The dashboard glows softly. The steering wheel feels big in your hands, and everything about the car feels solid and mechanical, like it was made to last forever. Cars used to have quirks and features that gave them soul. Little details that made them unique, fun, and in some cases, a little dangerous. Most of those features are gone now, replaced by touchscreens, sensors, and computers that take the driver out of the equation. Today, we're taking a nostalgic ride through time to look at 10 car features from the past that don't exist anymore, the details that made driving feel special, and why we don't see them today. Number 1. Bench seats. Once upon a time, the front seat wasn't divided into driver and passenger spots. It was one long, soft bench. Families could squeeze 3 people up front with no problem, and teenagers loved sliding close to their date on a Friday night cruise. Bench seats were practical too. You could slide in from either side, and there was always room to stretch out on a road trip. But as safety regulations evolved, cars started adding center consoles, cup holders, and airbags, leaving no room for that classic sofa-like seat. Today, you'll only find bench seats in a few pickup trucks, a quiet reminder of when cars were as much about togetherness as they were about transportation. Number 2. Wing windows. Long before air conditioning was standard, cars had those little triangular vent windows on the front doors. You could flip them open to bring in a cool breeze, just enough air to feel refreshing without blasting you in the face. They were perfect for road trips, allowing you to smoke, talk, and enjoy fresh air without dealing with the roar of a fully open window. And there was something so satisfying about snapping them shut with that little chrome latch. But wing windows disappeared in the 1980s as car makers focused on aerodynamics, safety, and quieter cabins. Nowadays, you have climate control, but no charming little triangle window to adjust just right. Number 3. Hood ornaments. In the early and mid-20th century, hood ornaments were like jewelry for your car. From Packard's graceful Goddess of Speed to the leaping Jaguar and Rolls-Royce's Spirit of Ecstasy, these tiny sculptures made every car feel like a work of art. They were also a status symbol. Seeing one gleam at the end of a long hood as you drove made you feel like royalty. But by the 1990s, hood ornaments became rare. They were expensive, they broke off easily, and pedestrian safety rules meant they were seen as a hazard. Now, they're mostly found on restored classics, living reminders of when cars were rolling works of art. Number 4. Ashtrays and cigarette lighters. There was a time when every car, even the family wagon, came with an ashtray and a cigarette lighter. Some even had one for every passenger door. Even if you didn't smoke, you probably used that lighter at least once to melt the end of a frayed shoelace, heat up a stuck key, or just watch it glow orange for fun. But as smoking rates dropped and society became more health conscious, automakers phased out these features. Today, they're replaced by USB ports and 12-volt chargers. Practical, sure, but nowhere near as charming. Number 5. Manual crank windows. Before the age of power windows, every car door had a little metal crank you had to turn to roll the window up or down. It was simple, reliable, and it gave you something to do on long road trips. Kids loved playing with them, spinning them fast to feel the breeze rush in. And if your car broke down, crank windows would still work. No need for electricity. Today, manual windows are almost completely gone, replaced by convenient power buttons. But some people miss the old crank. It was mechanical, dependable, and gave you a tiny sense of control over your car. Number 6. Tail fins. If you grew up in the 1950s or early 60s, you saw cars that looked like they were ready for takeoff. Tail fins were inspired by the space race and the jet age, sharp, dramatic designs that made cars look futuristic and fast, even while parked. Kids loved running their hands along those shiny fins, and they became one of the most iconic design choices in automotive history. But by the late 60s, taste shifted toward cleaner, simpler lines. Tail fins slowly disappeared, marking the end of an era where cars looked like rolling rockets. Number 7. Column shifters. You used to put the car in gear by reaching up near the steering wheel and pulling the lever down with a satisfying click. Column shifters freed up space for that big front bench seat, and they made the interior look clean and uncluttered. It was so common that generations of drivers learned to reach up and grab the column to shift. But when center consoles became the norm, with cup holders, storage bins, and floor shifters, column shifters mostly disappeared. Today, they're a rare sight except on some trucks. Number 8. Pop-up headlights. Nothing said cool like a car whose headlights hid away during the day. Pop-up headlights gave cars a sleek, mysterious look until you flipped a switch, and they slowly rose into place like eyelids opening. You saw them on Corvettes, Miatas, RX-7s, and even family cars like the Toyota Celica. They were fun, mechanical, and gave cars real personality. But they were expensive to fix, bad for aerodynamics, and didn't meet new pedestrian safety rules. By the early 2000s, pop-up headlights were gone, leaving behind a very missed bit of car magic. Number 9. Hand-pull parking brakes. That long metal handle between the seats wasn't just functional. It was fun to use. You'd pull it up and hear that click-click-click as the ratchet locked in place. It made you feel connected to the car, like you were physically securing it in place. And for mischievous teenagers, it was perfect for pulling off dramatic handbrake turns. Today, most cars use tiny electronic switches or automatic parking brakes. Convenient. Yes. Satisfying. Not quite. Number 10. Full-size spare tires. Pop open the trunk of an older car, and there it was. A full-size spare tire, ready to go. If you got a flat, you didn't just limp home on a tiny donut tire. You swapped it and kept driving like nothing happened. Today, full-size spares are rare. Automakers want to save weight and space, so most cars come with smaller temporary tires, or just a can of sealant and an air pump. But for anyone who ever had to change a tire on the side of the highway, nothing beats the peace of mind of a real spare waiting for you in the trunk. Cars have come a long way. They're safer, faster, and smarter than ever before. But sometimes, you can't help but miss the charm of the past, the chrome, the fins, the little features that made every car feel unique. Which of these features do you miss the most? Bench seats? Pop-up headlights? Or maybe those wing windows on a summer night? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your memories. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we bring the past back to life.